I'm Ken Leon Guerrero, and you are watching the second edition of In My Humble Opinion. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the 2016 primary election. But before I do that, I want to share something with you that's very important to people on Guam. This morning, President Obama appointed the 7 members of the Federal Financial Management Oversight Board for the island of Puerto Rico. This is important to us because Puerto Rico and Guam are on a parallel track. Puerto Rico is just a little further down the road than we are, so they are our canary in the coal mine. At the beginning of the 33rd legislature, the Puerto Rican government was already declaring a financial emergency. At the time they declared financial emergency, their per-person debt for every man, woman, and child on Puerto Rico was $10,656. At that same time, at the beginning of the 33rd legislature, our per capita debt for every man, woman, and child on Guam was $9,051. So we're just a few dollars behind Puerto Rico. Fast forward to today. Here we are we're nearly through the 33rd legislature. And this morning, on the day that the president appointed the 7 members of the Federal Management Oversight Board for the finances of the government of Puerto Rico, their per person debt was $15,000 and change. Our per person debt here on Guam is $12,451. We're just a few $1,000s under Puerto Rico. But this is why I'm concerned. There are a number of pieces of legislation that may be heard and made into law by the end of the 33rd legislature that could put our per debt load over $16,000, making the per person debt load for every man, woman, and child over $1,000 higher than the debt load for citizens of Puerto Rico on the day the president appointed the 7 members to the Federal Management Financial Oversight Board. So, what does this have to do with the primary elections? A lot. Now remember, the president appointed a financial oversight board because the government of Puerto Rico was not handling their money well. This primary election cost taxpayers of Guam $400,000 to eliminate 4 candidates. That's not a very good return on our investment. And it doesn't get any better when you look at this over time, because over the past 4 primaries, we've spent nearly $1.6 million, and we've eliminated a grand total of 14 candidates from participating in the general election. That's not a very wise choice of limited resources. So, what if our senators had made better decisions? What if our government had decided to use $400,000 more wisely, more for the benefit of the people than for the benefit of the politicians? What could we have done with $400,000? Well, the first thing we could have done is we could have bought 15 brand new patrol cars. Public safety is short of patrol vehicles. They're about to lose a number of vehicles that are currently on lease. So if they didn't have enough cars to do the job before, and they're about to lose more cars, that's a big risk to the community. If we had bought 15 patrol cars instead of paying for that primary, Department of Public Safety could do a better job keeping us safe. Maybe we could have given the money to mass transit to operate the disability transport vehicles that we paid, I think we paid nearly $2 million for, and they're sitting there in a parking lot at DPW just wasting away because we don't have money to operate. Think of the quality of life for our disabled community, being able to get to dialysis appointments on time for a change, being able to get to work. If those vehicles had been operating, 30% of our population could have seen a dramatic improvement in their quality of life. We could have bought 1,600 solar panels and put them on top of Government of Guam buildings, reducing the operating cost, saving taxpayers money. That would be a good idea. Or better, we could have put all those solar panels on top of schools because the news this morning is GPA is about ready to disconnect Department of Education over $1.6 million in past due bills. So if we had the solar panels on top of the schools, maybe they wouldn't be so far in debt to GPA. Or maybe we could have sponsored free pet spay and neuter clinics in all the villages of the island for 4 years. Just imagine the dramatic reduction in the number of stray animals on this island if we had 4 years of pet spay and neuter clinics. It would make it safe for our children to walk to the bus stop or walk to school. It would make it safe for people just to walk around the villages to exercise, which would help reduce the obesity rate and the diabetes rate. These are all good things we could have done with the money, but we didn't. Maybe we could have spent $400,000 to do the design and engineering work to put a traffic light in front of public health in Manilo so that we can cut down the number of people being hit by cars as they try to run across the road from Manilo to Payless, Payless to Manilo. That would be a good thing for the community. But instead, we spent the money to eliminate 4 new people from competing against the 15 existing incumbents. That, in my humble opinion, is not a very good use of taxpayer dollars. So, the 34th legislature is going to be dealing with some major problems. We need to get serious players in there. Players who are more concerned about the welfare of the people than the welfare of themselves. Because in the Constitution of the United States begins with the words, "we the people," not "we the politicians." But when you look at how our politicians have been acting, especially in the area of the pay raise, we see that that group of politicians appears to believe that the legislature was put there for their benefit, not our benefit. But remember the words of Abraham Lincoln, who said, "A government of the people, by the people, and for the people." That's what we need in the 34th legislature. And in my humble opinion, the only way we're going to get there is if these 8 aren't included in that list of candidates incumbents of the 34th legislature. So, how do we get these 8 people out and get 8 new people in? That comes down to the candidates. And here's my advice to you as candidates. First of all, you need to tell us who you are. You cannot depend on traditional media to carry your message. You need to get an aggressive positioning on social media, get a powerful Facebook page, populate it with information about you, get a website, and use YouTube. Do videos like this. Do videos like this. And in these videos, tell us your story. Tell us who you are. Tell us how you got to where you are today. Tell us what you believe the major problems facing Guam are. But most importantly, tell us what your priorities are going to be when you get into the legislature. This will give us as voters an idea of the type of candidate you are so that we can determine if we want you to represent us in the 34th legislature. Now, for you voters watching this video, I encourage you to do your homework. Find these people online. Look at their Facebook pages. Look at their videos. Send them questions. Email them. Email them your questions and have them respond back to you. Because only when we as voters are comfortable with the new candidates will we have a possible chance of making lasting and permanent change in the direction Guam is heading. And that's important because Guam's at the crossroads. If we keep doing what we're doing right now, we're going to follow Puerto Rico right over the financial cliff, and the news a year from today will be President whoever appointed 7 members of a financial management oversight board for the government of Guam if we keep doing what we're doing. So if we want to change our course, we have to change our people, and that comes down to you. So I encourage each and every one of you who watch this video to like this video, share this video with your friends, families, and coworkers, because an educated population is the best chance we have to make lasting, permanent changes in our legislature. But most important, I want you to vote. Remember, bad public officials are elected by good citizens who do not vote. I'm Ken Leon Guerrero. That's my view of the 2016 primary election. In upcoming videos, the Citizens for Public Accountability will keep the issues before you, and we will let you know where the candidates and the incumbents stand on those issues, so that when it comes time to vote, you'll at least have our perspective to help you when you go into the booth and make your decisions. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, to save our island, like this video, share this video, and vote.